Shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, giving infinite praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Ba'ashem, Wachakwadash. Giving double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and shalom and salutation to all you sincere Akim across the four winds, pushing this truth with sincerity of heart. I'm your fellow servant, Kasama God from the DC camp, coming at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Ba'ashem, Wachakwadash, for the elect. Now, in this video, man, we're going to talk about some breaking news about the FISA. FISA stands for Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. All right. This is something that goes back to the Patriot Act. Of course, when we had that incident that happened, that so-called terrorist attack that happened in 9/11, as we know, the Patriot Act was implemented. Everybody was scared, so everybody kind of came together. The government set it up real nice, and everybody came together. Everybody was super patriotic, and when the government passed legislature or laws to basically spy on everybody, nobody really had a problem. Why? Because it was a time of great fear. All right, and all the the official report that was posted up, everybody ate it. Right, it was everybody fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. So now, basically, what's going on now is you have Congress, if I'm not mistaken, Congress right now, and I think it's just passed, as a matter of fact, right here. It's actually the House. It says the House passes 2-year surveillance law extension without warrant requirement. All right. The thing is, I think it was set to actually expire on the 19th. And as you know, there's a lot going on right now, man. The United States basically came out and said that the state of Israel should be expecting an attack from Iran, at any time soon. So there's a lot going on. We know that may or may not be true. Why? Because we do understand, we do have a knowledge and understanding of false flag operations. We know that governments have the potentiality of either facilitating terrorist attacks on their own land and then blaming it on somebody else, or plan B, they could just see a terrorist attack coming and basically stand down and let it happen, aka like what happened in October in Israel. It's clear now that the IDF stood down and let that shit go down and let Hamas go ahead and hurt some people, right? So they could use that as a pretext to go to Gaza. So you gotta, this is something that geopolitically and historically you understand that false flag operation is a part of governments that do that. Now, with all that I just stated, of course you have these agencies like the CIA and FBI, they intelligence agencies, they are given a lot of power. And the United States primarily has been spying on everybody from Germany to all these different countries. They spy on the Russians. But primarily the United States government, the first people, the first line of defense, really, the people that the government is really worried about is American citizens. Those are the people they really want to spy on. Why? You would ask yourself, why would the United States government primarily want to spy on United States citizens? Well, that's because the United States, also known in the Bible as the virgin daughter of Babylon, it's actually the most evil and wicked organization or group. I'll just say organization or wicked government in the history of the world. You're talking about from starting wars to selling drugs to selling weapons, all kinds of stuff, to creating diseases, to having different tribal groups in different lands fight against each other, sponsoring both sides of a war and acting like they're a hero. This is something that the CIA is well known for. Across the globe, all right? And now, of course, if you're going to be such a powerful and such an evil entity, now you have the United States citizen, which is totally unaware for the most part. You gotta make sure that you don't get a pushback from the United States citizens, right? Because if you get a pushback from your own citizens, then you won't be able to fulfill all the evil deeds that you want to fulfill, right? All the corruption, the death, the murder, that the CIA and the government does abroad. So it's very important to understand why the government has to spy on the citizens. Now, one, of course, primarily we're dealing with the Israelites, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We, beginning with the prophets, we know that we've been absolutely just watched and wiretapped, right? And we understand it. We know it's part of the process, right? Now, when you let's go to this is, man, I'm not gonna pay for that. This is New York Times. It says House passes 2-year surveillance law extension without warrant requirement. It says Speaker Mike Johnson scaled back the measure to 2 years from 5 after Donald J. Trump had urged Republicans to kill it. An effort to require warrants to search for Americans' messages fell on a tie. All right, so you realize that the United States government, they're not really worried about so-called terrorists, because we know the majority of those terrorist groups are actually sponsored, funded, trained by all these different governments. You have Hezbollah. It's like it's a terrorist group that's trained and funded by Iran. You have Al Qaeda, which is trained and funded by the Saudi Arabia and with the help of the CIA. You have ISIS, which is a branch of Al Qaeda. More I probably say sinister. They're more so what you call Wahhabists. So they're more sinister. They're more brutal. So they're a branch of Al Qaeda, trained and they're trained by the CIA, owned by the CIA, funded by Saudi Arabia. So these are different things that you need to know. You got Hamas, which was actually founded by the state of Israel. Crazy as that sound, do your history. Go and look it up. The origins of Hamas goes back to the state of Israel. And then and then it flipped, right? They flipped. Well, they didn't really flip. It's just not really. It's deeper than that. They didn't flip, man. It's the Hamas kind of works for Israel, man. It's hard to explain, man. They act like they really work and protect the Palestinians, but the people who really control Hamas, you will find out, are people that are heads of states of Israel, man. It's crazy, man. The level of evil, when you dig into this stuff, the level of evil is baffling. They play high level chess when it comes to geopolitics. That's why they all have to, have their agencies spy on people that know what's truly going on. All right. And of course, us, the prophets of the Lord, we definitely in the mix. You know what I'm saying? You have the Southern Poverty Law Center that's definitely been spying on the men of the Lord. You have the ADL. There's definitely been spying on the men of the Lord. I mean, one of the agents of the Southern Poverty Law Center in the ADL is Vocab Malone. You know what I'm saying? I have no. And somebody would say, "Well, how would you know? Did you see a paper?" I don't need to see papers, because I've seen. I'm in that. Listen, I've always been trying to dig into those stuff and those things. And you look into conspiracy theorists and you actually meet former agents, and he has all the criteria of former agents, former FBI agents, CIA, and all that. Once you know that, you're like, all right, cool. You understand why, regardless of how many times you break down the scriptures, he refuses to acknowledge the truth, because that's not his job. His job is to be a contrarian, and to gather enough evidence that will be used against certain men of the Lord when society collapses and martial law is established and the hour of persecution comes. All right, so let's read one paragraph. Here it says, Congress spent the past week in a fractious debate over a major government surveillance program that gives U.S. authorities the ability to monitor vast swaths of emails, text messages, and phone calls without a warrant. All right? And that's the big thing. The big thing is the government, Babylon's government, they want to do this without a warrant. As a matter of fact, they already, listen, one thing you got to understand about the FBI and the CIA, when they go to court and when they go to the House or the Senate to pass a bill, you got to understand they're already doing it. The thing is, they just want to make sure it's legal because maybe some shit's about to go down, and they want to make sure that they can't be legally held responsible for infringing into people's privacy. But as far as like have they been doing it? Absolutely, they've been looking at text messages, emails, and all that without warrant. It's just they got to make sure there's the law is there, because that's how the devil works. All right, the devil has to be able to do devilish things and legalize his evil, so you won't be able to call him out. He has to legalize his evil. All right, that's a big thing with Esau. It says in a vote on Friday, lawmakers ultimately decided to keep that warrantless surveillance intact and passed a 2-year reauthorization of the law known as Section 702. Right, you can type in Section 702 and you'll read all the details of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA. All right, so it says the law has long been contentious amongst both progressives and libertarian-leaning conservatives who view it as a violation of privacy rights and civil liberties. Donald Trump has likewise lambasted it out of personal grievance. Yeah, because they've been spying on his ass. You know what I'm saying? FBI been spying on his ass heavy. CIA spying on him. So he got an issue with that. It says its defenders, which include intelligence agencies and Joe Biden's administration. Of course, Joe is okay with that. Because whatever they find on Joe, you know what I'm saying, they never bring that up to the surface. But whatever they find on the other guy, on Nero, aka Donald Trump, that's going to be blowing up on mainstream. So that's the kind of game that these Edomites play. And when it comes to politics, it says its defenders, which include intelligence agencies and Joe Biden's administration, argue that it is an important tool in stopping terrorist attacks, cybercrime, and the international drug trade. Right. So if you want to stop terrorist attacks, you don't spy on foreign agents. You spy on United States citizens, because clearly the United States, Babylon, believes that the biggest thing they got to worry, the people they got to worry about most, its own citizens. Hey, that's what wicked governments do, man, because they understand, man. They don't. This ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not gonna allow no damn French Revolution when the people rise up with pitchforks. You know what I'm saying? And nah, they're not gonna allow that. You're not gonna fucking hang, or you're not gonna put a guillotine on Joe Biden's. They're not gonna. These new rulers of the New World Order, the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, man, they're not going for that treatment, that Louis XIII treatment. When the average man is gonna put their necks in the guillotine, nah, that's not happening. All right, so now this is Psalms chapter 10, verse 1. It says, a prayer for the overthrow of the wicked. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Right. It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. All right. And that's Esau's mentality, right? It says, he has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. And that's the mindset of the Edomites. The Rothschilds, that's why they keep going with their plans. I mean, they know about the scriptures, but like where they at right now, they've been winning for 800 years. So they truly believe. And then not only that, they got Satan constantly like bigging them up and boosting them up and giving them new knowledge and new technology. So they're ultra confident that, that things are going to turn out. That some way, somehow things are going to turn out well for them. But the Heavenly Father got him thinking like that. All right. But at the end of the day, man, they're going to be shocked. They're going to be shocked. Psalms 10 verse 7, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. Right? And that's the thing that we know about war crimes and stuff like that. We know about, Jake getting, getting smoked, and you would never hear it. There's a lot of things that happen in Babylon, man. Children being abducted, to be violated, to be made into sex slaves. I mean, there's a lot of evil and madness and crime that happen, that happen on our people, that happen in this place, man. You just, when you are totally unaware and you're in the matrix, you just do not see the amount of evil that goes down in Babylon, man. This place is wretched, filthy, despicable, man. You just don't know. You just don't know it. But the more you know, it's devastating when and it hurts when that evil to this extent could be allowed to continue. But at the end of the day, hey, Yahweh Shah knows what's right. There's a reason why he's allowing this type of despicable evil to take place. Like children being snatched up and kidnapped and made into sex slaves. So you could have a big house and your next door neighbor politician has a basement where he has a bunch of children that have been kidnapped and haven't been found, and they've been sex slaves for years. And then when he's tired of them, he's just get rid of them, and you'll never hear it. It'll never come up. They're just dead and gone like that. Like this is the type of stuff that just really, really, it's just tough, man. Verse 9, it says, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. All right, so I mean Esau, man, it says Psalms chapter 31 verse 1. It says to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Indeed, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Bow down thine ear to me. Deliver me speedily. Beat out my strong rock for an house of defense to save me. Right? Save me from what? From Esau. Because Esau, he's gathering all this information. And he's going to be out here trumping up charges on brothers, man. This is going to be crazy, man. The false accusation, the false witnesses, the trumped up charges, man. Esau's going to be going all out, man. So brothers we have to be ready spiritually, mentally, and also physically to a certain extent, man. But primarily spiritually and mentally, man, because the wild shit that Esau's going to pull off, you're going to be like, man, what is he talking about? And he's going to drop a whole dossier, man, a whole book on you. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can written a book. Cause Job spoke about that. Hey, no, come on. Just bear with me. My enemies had, I think, crown. Let me type in crown. It's in the book of Job. Just bear with me. Because surely I say, okay, cool. There you go. This is Job chapter 31, and I'm gonna start at all right. Job chapter 31 with 34 says, "Did I fear a great multitude, or did the contempt of families terrify me? That I kept silence and went not out of the door." Right? So we don't fear a great multitude, right? We out there in the highways and the edges. All right. We pushing this, we edifying the flock. You know what I'm saying? And the internet highways, right? Even though we being spied on, you know what I'm saying, by the intelligence community, basically. Verse 35, oh, that one would hear me. Behold, my desire is that the Almighty will answer me, and that mine adversary had written a book. You see that? So Job said, man, my desire is that the Almighty would answer me and that my adversary had written a book, man. So you're not really, in, you're not really doing right by Yahweh Shema Shah, man. If Esau ain't out there trying to get you, if Esau ain't out there spying on you, if Esau ain't out there like pulling hairs trying to figure out how he's gonna set you up. You know what I'm saying? So they got a book on us, man. Each and every one of us in this truth, they got a book on us. You know what I'm saying? Just deal with it. Accept it for what it is and just prepare yourself. Verse 36, but this is the mindset you gotta have. It says, surely I would take it upon my shoulder and bind it as a crown to me. Right, absolutely. When you got Esau's top, wise guys out there just tapping your phones, just listening, trying to get every type of information they can to try to use it against you and incriminate you on some stupid shit. And when you see your enemy trying hard like that, it's a sign of respect. It's a sign of respect. And I know without a doubt that Esau, Edom, when it comes to Great Millstone in particular, the men of the Lord, that he does everything he can. He's doing everything he can, to build cases, man. And which is a sign of respect. All right. We might be enemies, but there's respect, Now, what you notice the precepts that I brought up, there's a word that kept coming up. It's called the word is privily. All right, so when you go to Animal Online, you type in privily, it goes back to privy, meaning secret, concealed, not made known in public. All right, so this is secret and concealed. All right, that's what this is right here. FISA. All right, this is all about secrecy. Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. All right. The weird part about that, they call it foreign intelligence, but all they want to do is really spy on American citizens. So I kind of let you know, man. It says friendly, intimate, and private place. Private. Privy Council. All right. So this is how they get down, man. Now, let's go to this is Psalms chapter 64. And I'm going to start at 1. This is in Psalm 64 in the NLT, right? I'm going to start at 1. It says, for the choir director, a psalm of David. It says, oh God, listen to my complaint. Protect my life from my enemy's threats. Hide me from the plots of this evil mob. See, the evil mob from this gang of wrongdoers, all right? The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, man, the DuPonts, all the 13 families, right? The Trilateral Commission, the United States government intelligence agencies that spy on the children of Israel, primarily the elect. You know what I'm saying? It's just a mob, man. It's an evil mob, right? Those guys are drug traffickers. They're warlocks, They're warmongers, all right? It says, hide me from the plots of this evil mob, from the gang of wrongdoers. They sharpen their tongues like swords and aim their bitter words like arrows. They shoot from ambush at the innocent, attacking suddenly and fearlessly. They encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. Who will ever notice, they ask. As they plot their crimes, they say, we have devised the perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning, but the Most High himself will shoot them with his arrows, suddenly striking them down. Their own tongues will ruin them, and all who see them will shake their heads in scorn. Then everyone will be afraid. They will proclaim the mighty acts of Yahweh Shem Shah and realize all the amazing things he does. The godly will rejoice in the Lord and find shelter in him. And those who do what is right will praise him. All right, man. Listen, it hits a little different, man, when you read Psalm 64. You read some of these precepts in the NLT, man, all these different Bible versions. Because you already know what the KJV sounds like, because we read the KJV over and over. But when you read these different Bible verses, man, it hit a little different. It hits deeper sometimes, right? So yeah, man. Hey, listen. So that's basically all I had. But just be aware, man. This is going down. They just extended it. There's a lot. It's a lot of so-called possible false flag operations on the way, man. So be sharp, be aware, be spiritual, be faithful, man. Call halam la Yahweh Bashim, shout double honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Kasama God from the DC camp. Shalom.